is Ben Kon. I am the Instruction and Innovation Librarian here at the Delray Beach Public Library. So in addition to being part of the reference team here at the library, I'm also in charge of our Technology Training and Innovation Lab that you see behind me here, where I teach a number of classes in things like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Premiere Pro, Adobe Audition. I'm also in charge of the recording studio downstairs. We've set up sort of a do-it-yourself recording studio where people from the community can come in. They go through a short 30-minute orientation with me, and then they're able to come in and work on their own do-it-yourself recording projects, whether it be music or podcasts, or we have people who write audiobooks. We've had voice actors, all kinds of projects that go into our recording studio. Again, the recording studio is set up as a do-it-yourself production studio. So, I mean, there's a trend in audio recording now of a lot of independent musicians wanting to go on their own and, record themselves either at home, but they may not have the equipment for it. Audio equipment is expensive, and, runs into thousands of dollars or more, just for a basic home studio setup. So what we've done is provided a space here for those who don't have access to that, where they can come in and record something that sounds very professional that they can release on the internet or through traditional means if they want to. So the studio that we have here is an ideal podcast setup. We have an audio interface that has 2 microphone inputs for both the interviewer and the interviewee if you choose to have one. I also host a class here on how to get started podcasting with Adobe Audition. Adobe Audition is an audio recording software from Adobe that's ideally suited for podcasting in particular because it has some templates and automatic workflows that get you started. But to get you familiar with the software itself, I do offer a class on that, and we've had a lot of success with that. We have patrons who've come in not knowing anything about podcasting, and they'll sit down and do an interview with each other and come up with a basic workflow with an intro and an outro, including some background music, and I show you how to mix that down. But from there, you can take it anywhere you want to go. So in my Adobe Photoshop class, I focus on an introduction to image compositing, which is really the strength of the Photoshop program. What image compositing does is it takes elements from 2 different photos. For example, this picture that you see behind me is a composite of a mountain stack from Ruby Beach in Olympic National Park in Washington, combined with an Italian cathedral, and kind of putting those 2 together in a way that you wouldn't be able to in real life. Another one that I did for the library just before the holidays, here I took a snow globe and a picture that we had of the library itself, the building outside, and I put those together in a way that would help us celebrate the holidays and get people interested in image compositing. Photoshop and image compositing in general is great for anyone who wants to market a business or create marketing materials, create content for your website that's engaging and gets people's attention. Additionally, photographers, have been the traditional market for Photoshop, though, with the advent of the internet and, everyone putting up images and other content online, it's really become something that everybody should know a little bit about at least. So another one of the classes that I offer is an introduction to building your own personal website, or portfolio is how I design the class, using an online software called Wix. I'll show you that really quick. Okay, so this is the introductory Wix site that I created as sort of a demo, and this is what I teach everyone how to create. Okay, so Wix is an online web development software. It makes it very easy and intuitive for those who don't know a whole lot of HTML or CSS, to code it themselves. Wix, sets it up. They have a couple of different ways you can do it in Wix. You can either use a template that a web developer has already developed for you, or there's something called the Wix ADI, which stands for Artificial Design Intelligence, where by answering a couple of different questions, Wix will basically use its artificial intelligence algorithm to create the website for you based on your answers to those questions. Now this one, I used a template to create it. If I hit the preview button here, I'll show you kind of what it looks like. We created a moving background with it. And I just created a basic portfolio where I can showcase different projects that I've worked on, most of them created here in the Technology Training and Innovation Lab. I mean, there was a logo that I designed for it using Adobe Illustrator. It also has links showing my resume, a short bio, and a contact page. So that's pretty much what we go over in the Introduction to Web Design Using Wix class. So Adobe Premiere Pro is a very powerful video editing tool. I mean, it's been used in some major motion pictures now. The ones that come to the top of my head are the movie Hugo, and it was also used in the movie Avatar for some of their editing work as well. But it's very powerful what it can do, and as important as video has become now with the pandemic, and creating new material for people to engage with online, everybody wants to see video now. And so, the ability to create your own short videos and, sequence them together into a format that will be engaging for the audience, that's what Premiere helps you do. And, like I said, it's a very powerful tool. So there are a lot of different places that you can go to learn Adobe software nowadays. I mean, there are, various classes held in this community as well. A lot of them do charge for it, however. To hire a private tutor to work with you in something like Adobe Photoshop or Premiere would cost you anywhere from $35 to $50 an hour. Here, one of the biggest advantages are that we offer these classes completely free of charge. You have access to the software free of charge. We opened the lab up for people before the pandemic was going on. People could come in here during our open lab hours and just use the software, for whatever purpose they needed it for. With the recording studio downstairs, I mean, to get time, just to do things by yourself in a traditional recording studio, you're looking at $50 an hour. If you add in, the cost of hiring the audio engineer, and just, getting everything together, and, certainly, there is a place for those studios as well. I mean, there's an enormous amount of equipment that those that invest in as well. However, again, everything that we offer here is free. It is high-end equipment that can be used for professional productions, and the value of it really is, you can't underestimate it, and that's why it's so important to consider donating to our annual campaign. In order to keep these programs going and keep everything free, we do rely on private donations. That's why it's so important to get your involvement.
Perfect.